In 2026, searches for Tom Cruise net worth 2026. Is Tom Cruise a billionaire? Tom Cruise Nicole Kidman reunion. Tom Cruise Pamela Anderson, and Scientology Tom Cruise try to turn a life into headlines. But behind every rumor, there is still a boy who stared at a classroom page and felt panic move through his body. There is an irony in Tom Cruise's story that hurts too much to be coincidence. The child who could not read without shame rising in his throat. The teenager who found freedom only when he became someone else under school lights. The icon who built his identity on speed, control, discipline, and never looking afraid. All of that so that life would arrive decades later and turn him into the most watched running man in the world, sprinting from the silence he never fully escaped. Before search engines paired him with Tom Cruise Young Guns, Pamela Anderson, and Scientology speedruns, there was no mythology. There was only a child trying to survive a home where safety could disappear fast. How does a boy who feels defective become the face of impossible missions? What was hidden behind that smile so bright it almost looked like armor? What happens when the thing that saves you, performance, perfection, movement, becomes the same thing that traps you? To understand all of that, we need to go back to the beginning, to Syracuse, New York, to July 3, 1962, and to a child who learned in the cruelest way possible that if the world found your weakness, it might use it against you. He was born Thomas Cruise Mapother IV, far from Hollywood privilege and studio gates. Syracuse was gray, working, ordinary. A place of cold sidewalks, small kitchens, and families who measured possibility in paychecks, not premieres. His father, Thomas Cruise Mapother III, was an electrical engineer. His mother, Mary Lee Pfeiffer, was a special education teacher. Their son arrived with no money, no connections, no famous last name. Only restless energy, sharp sensitivity, and a nervous system that heard danger first. There were 4 children, Tom and his sisters, Leanne, Marion, and Cass. The Mapothers moved from America to Canada, dragging boxes, records, uniforms, and the exhaustion of starting over. His father was intelligent but frightening, a man Tom would later call a bully and a coward. His mother worked to hold the family together with tenderness that had to compete against instability. In that house, love existed, but it did not always protect. There was no luxury, no industry connection, no paved road to fame. But there was something more powerful than all of that. There was a child who felt the world too intensely. The wound had a name, dyslexia. Diagnosed at 7, Tom did not simply struggle with reading. Reading humiliated him. Letters moved like enemies. Sentences collapsed before meaning arrived. A page was not paper. It was a locked door. In school, he was the new kid with the wrong accent, the wrong shoes, the wrong timing. He attended school after school, carrying the same secret into different classrooms. Other children could be cruel, and ordinary cruelty is sometimes the kind that lasts longest. When the teacher called on him, his body knew before his mouth did. Heat in the face. Tightness in the chest. Words stuck like stones. He would reach the end of a page and remember almost nothing, except the feeling that everyone else had been given a key he did not have. Years later, he would describe the shame with brutal honesty. I was a functional illiterate. He also said reading made him go blank, anxious, nervous, bored, frustrated, dumb, and even made his legs hurt while studying. But the page was not the only place where fear waited. At home, fear had footsteps. Cruise later remembered his father as someone who could make him feel safe, then suddenly turn. If something goes wrong, they kick you, he said. Don't trust him. Be careful around him. So the boy adapted. He watched faces. He studied tone. He learned where anger gathered before it broke. Long before directors praised his intensity, that intensity was a child's survival skill. By high school in Glen Ridge, New Jersey, wrestling gave him relief. On the mat, there were no paragraphs, no hidden letters. No father's footsteps. Just muscle, breath, force, and rules. For a while, he believed his body might become the place where shame could not reach him. Then a knee injury ended that dream. One damaged joint, one sudden betrayal, and the path he trusted disappeared. For most teenagers, it would have been disappointment. For Tom, it was another locked door. With wrestling gone, he found acting almost by accident. His mother encouraged him. A school production of Guys and Dolls needed students. Tom stepped toward it not as a future legend, but as a wounded teenager looking for somewhere else to put the energy inside him. And when he played Nathan Detroit, something extraordinary happened. The shame did not vanish, but it changed shape. The boy who struggled to read as himself could suddenly breathe inside another man's words. The nervousness became charge. The fear became presence. The wound became performance. It was not talent yet. It was recognition. The silent certainty of having found the one place where he was not trapped by the boy everyone misunderstood. Only Tom Cruise was free when he was pretending to be someone else. At 18 in 1980, he left for New York City with no famous friends, no safety net, and a private 10-year deadline burning in his mind. New York did not greet him like a future star. It greeted him like another hard room. He worked as a busboy, cleared tables, watched people eat what he could barely afford, and walked back into the night carrying one belief: somewhere, a camera would see what the classroom never could. He kept auditioning. Small roles came first, Endless Love in 1981, then Taps later that year. The parts were not huge, but they placed him close enough to cinema to hear it breathe. Then came Risky Business in 1983. One white shirt. One hallway. One impossible moment of confidence. The boy who once froze before a classroom page slid across a polished floor and became a symbol of young American rebellion. The film earned over $63 million from a $6.2 million budget. But Top Gun in 1986 changed the temperature of his life. Suddenly, Tom Cruise was not only an actor. He was Velocity. He was Maverick. He was the smile on posters, the fighter jet against sunset. Against a budget of $15 million, Top Gun became a global phenomenon, earning hundreds of millions and turning a dyslexic child into the face of American confidence. And yet fame is not healing. Fame is amplification. In 1988, Rain Man placed him beside Dustin Hoffman. Today, searches may say Dustin Hoffman movies, Reservoir Dogs, Rear Window, Roman Holiday, or Raging Bull. But then Tom was being measured against cinema history. He was no longer just beautiful. He had to be serious. And serious meant pressure. In 1990, he married Nicole Kidman after they met during Days of Thunder. For years, they looked like Hollywood royalty, young, luminous, unreachable. They adopted 2 children, Isabella and Connor, and built a family under cameras that never blinked. But public love has a private cost. There are hotel rooms where applause cannot enter. There are marriages stretched across continents, contracts, tabloids, and silence. In 2001, after 11 years, the marriage ended, and the world consumed it like entertainment. Decades later, trend searches would whisper Tom Cruise-Nicole Kidman reunion, and even Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are reuniting following shared tragedy. But the truth is more human than the headline. 2 people once shared children, history, and pain the public cannot own. Then came another public chapter. In 2006, Tom Cruise married Katie Holmes. Their daughter Suri had already made him a father again in the eyes of the world. By 2012, it was over. Scientology Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise Scientologist. Scientologist Tom Cruise. Scientology speedrun. The internet learned to compress faith, controversy, loyalty, and identity into phrases small enough to trend. Inside all that noise was still the same boy who spent childhood trying not to be misunderstood. His body became the place where he kept answering the world. In Mission Impossible, beginning in 1996, he did not only play Ethan Hunt, he built a religion of effort. The first film earned about $457 million worldwide, and the franchise turned danger into his signature. He climbed the Burj Khalifa. He held onto airplanes. He jumped motorcycles off cliffs. He broke his ankle during Mission Impossible Fallout and kept the take because stopping felt more impossible than pain. That is the terrible beauty of Tom Cruise. The wound became the work ethic. The fear became the stunt. The child who could not control the page became the man who tried to control gravity. But control has a price. 3 marriages ended. Every belief, romance, absence, and smile was dissected. Even questions like, is Tom Cruise a billionaire and Tom Cruise net worth 2026 are part of the same hunger. The public measuring a man by numbers because numbers feel easier than. Loneliness. By the late 2000s, the industry began to doubt him. Some saw him as too intense, too exposed, too surrounded by controversy. The doors were not slammed as loudly as they were in New York, but the feeling was familiar. Invisible again. Then he did what he had always done. He moved. In 2011, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol restored the scale. In 2015, Rogue Nation sharpened it. In 2018, Fallout proved that age had not softened the will, but the true resurrection came in 2022 with Top Gun: Maverick. At 59, he returned to the role that had made him immortal. The industry expected nostalgia. Instead, the film became a prayer for theaters, about aging, grief, loyalty, and a man facing the ghost of his legend. Top Gun: Maverick earned about $1.49 billion worldwide and received 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. It was not just a sequel. It was proof that the past can return without becoming a museum. Then, in 2025, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning arrived with massive stunts and massive expectations. It opened strongly and earned hundreds of millions worldwide, even as its enormous budget made the victory complicated. That complication matters. Tom Cruise's story has never been clean. It is triumph with bruises, glory with fractures, stardom with loneliness folded underneath. In November 2025, at 63, he finally held an honorary Oscar. After 4 previous nominations without a competitive win, cinema turned back toward him and said thank you. On that stage, he gave the line that explained everything: making films is who I am, not what he does, who he is. Today, Tom Cruise is still moving. Current searches may tie him to Pamela Anderson, Tom Cruise and Pamela Anderson, Nicole Kidman reunion rumors, Scientology debates, money questions, and speculation. But beneath the noise is a simpler, more devastating truth. He became unforgettable because he refused to let childhood shame have the final word. From the boy who could not read freely to the man who turned running into cinema language, his life is proof that scars do not disqualify us. Sometimes they become the exact mark that makes us visible. What lesson do you take from Tom Cruise's story? How many times have you kept moving when the world expected you to break? Share your reflections below and subscribe for more stories of people who turned wounds into legends. Because in the end, Tom Cruise did not only teach us to run toward impossible missions, he taught us that sometimes the longest escape is the journey back to yourself.